Welcome to the Jolt Lite, and in this case it's the Jolt Up website tutorial. This was requested by our training people, so Ashley, our supervisor and PSS with the box office, as well as Judy, who is the coordinator for the volunteer staff. So this video is for both groups because we're both using this for our schedules. And so they've asked me, since I've been helping with the training as well, to develop a way to try and get us all familiar with it, how to navigate it in both the mobile app platforms as well as the computer platform. So this is the training for the computer platform. So we're just going to go over some real basics this first round because I wanted to make sure that those of us that are using the computer version versus or intertwined or as well as the mobile app, that we understand how the differences kind of work and what those are. I don't know exactly all of them. We might kind of discover a couple things as we go in, but I just wanted to put something together so that we have an idea of how these both work. Now I'm also going to be holding a, more likely I'll hold at least a class in person, in-house, and that means it'll be held at the theater to some vicinity. So if you are interested in that, on this video I will include links that show you, or rather will give you that opportunity to let me know that you're interested in that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is the login screen on the computer version. Obviously, in comparison to the mobile app typically, if you have it save your password and username, then you don't really ever see a login screen. I know that it sometimes happens when there is an issue with it logging in general, so it will take you to the login screen. So be advised, remember your passwords, have something that remembers your passwords, like an app or something. So just keep that in mind. But so I'm going to go ahead and log in. You can see my emails there, and then my password's already auto-filled. So I hit login. And here's some information that's about me. None of this is really private. So anyway, you can see that I have my basic information in here. This is what it opens to whenever I open this one. I don't know. We're gonna look for a second to see what options I do have with like what screen opens. I don't think you do. I think on this one you just have to stick with what you've got. So on the mobile app you have the ability to adjust which screen opens up. In particular, I have mine set up for the scheduling, and on the mobile app it actually lists as shifts. So that's usually how I have mine open. So in here, obviously I want to make sure that we're familiar with how it displays. So you can see that as I kind of take my cursor over, I didn't even click on these, it's automatically recognizing that I'm trying to look at something. So there's this training thing, we're not using that. Scheduling, we are. Settings is basically this page I'm on right now. And then lists is another thing we're not using right now, so don't worry about that at the moment. Feedback is just feedback for the app. So if you want to suggest something like, hey, I want a full calendar view, or I want to see a little bit more detail on the actual schedule shifts for the mobile app, or whatever your feedback could be to help improve the app and make it more user-friendly for you, you're welcome to send your feedback through the link here. Support is if you're having issues. So if you run into any issues with the app, you can reach out to their support group and they can work on those errors and issues that you have managed to run into. And then of course log out will take you out of the app and back to that login screen that we were just on prior to this. So Um, let's focus though on the scheduling because that's mainly what we use this for. You can see this has shifts. Obviously, that's more likely going to be what? I'm just going to tell you because nobody can really raise their hand here. This is for where your actual shifts are. So this is going to be your schedule. It does it by weeks, and I think most of us are pretty familiar. But let's go ahead and hop in here. So, as this is loading, any questions you have for me on just some of this general information, you're welcome to let me know. Again, I'm going to provide an email so that you can do so and get that information to me. So, now that the page is loaded, you can see that there's 3 different tabs here, and these are consistent between the mobile app as well as the computer, so that's good, right? Consistency. And it says up at the top, trade shifts. So what this means is there are 25, see that large number there, 25 shifts that are either open or someone is trying to get covered. So you can see Jim, one of our volunteers, is looking for someone for tonight. We have Rachel and Matt, who are scheduled for parking tomorrow, who are also trying to get that off. So just keep in mind that, like, as you go through, you're gonna see those. You're gonna see names. You're gonna also see these open shifts, HCT. It will tell you what they are, what time you are expected to be there, and the date that it applies for. So just keep those things in mind. If you are looking to work a little bit more, you can. You notice a shift is just low in general, and you are interested, then go in here. There's lots of open shifts, so you can see, I think we've seen, what, 8 of them already? Something like that. So just be willing to look in here and see what's available. And then also, if you heard somebody was trying to get a shift covered, see if they posted it here. And if you think you can cover it, great. So anyway, this is where you're going to see those shifts that are available to pick up. And the pickup in the app means that you are going to take it on and there isn't any string attached to that. You're just taking that and the other person is being let loose to not have to work, or you're just picking up an open shift. So just keep that in mind. And then we also have this middle one, which I call the little person, the little black head. You can call it the little black head. Okay, maybe not black head. That's kind of gross and could be bad. The little head, right? This is you. It's called My Shifts. It has everything for the current week that we're on typically. You can also adjust that. There's arrows on the right and the left that will help you go back and forth between different weeks. It just gives you that the most important information, what time you're expected to be there. So that means you clocking in at that time. 6:30 means that's your clock-in time. Just so there's no confusion there. 6:30 is a clock-in time. 6:15 is a clock-in time. Things like that. So you've got that. You've got what your actual job is. So like concessions is what I have going on tonight. And then as you can see later through the week, I have other things going on. So again, this is where you see it. You can see your hours that you're expected or projected to work. Pending trades. I haven't played with this too much, but this essentially is where you will see anything that's pending if you've posted it as a trade or a swap, I believe. Or rather, a release is what they call it, or a swap. And I'll do that in more detail in another video to try and show that off so that we kind of have a better understanding together. And then, of course, the days that we're looking at are listed just beneath the little person head there. And then the final category is all shifts. So this shows that obviously Monday and Tuesday are past. We're on Wednesday now, so you can see Wednesday who is scheduled to work. Now this is based off your visibility, meaning depending on where you are on the tower or the kind of the tree branches of the scheduling, if you're a manager, you're going to see more. If you are a regular usher, you're going to see a little bit less. Typically you'll just see just the other regular ushers, I believe, unless they've adjusted that. And then, of course, our volunteer staff will see the volunteer staff. And again, I do believe it's also just set to show you the volunteer staff at the moment. I don't know that it lists the managers. If they fixed that, great. I know that they were trying to fix that and make that available so that they could see who was there. So you can see that it lists everybody here, what they're doing, what time they're expected to clock in. So really great. And even like people who are new, it'll say shadow on them. So really good stuff here. So this is where you're gonna go if you're trying to find out who all is working the night that you are. So for tonight, for example, that's what this is showing. You can also see that this has the student matinee people because they worked earlier today. Just some good information, good places to look. Don't be afraid to click on a few things in here. This isn't a place where you're going to break something, more likely by clicking on something. It's very user-friendly. It's a little intimidating at first, of course, because it's new, and it's new to all of us. So if you have a question on something, I am more than happy to answer questions. You can ask a fellow usher if they have some tips and tricks with the app and how it works. So anyway, those were the main things I wanted to go over with this video. So in the next video, I'll be going over more about the shift trades and the release shifts so that you have a better understanding on how to navigate that and how best to work with that, so how the system works, how the processing of this actually works, and so on and so forth. So thanks again for everybody watching, and I will talk to you again in the next video. See ya!